This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. For your entertainment, Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Or call 800-765-8255. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, hello, West Virginia. We are back for more in the 304. Time to get it done in this 681. Time to start this 3-hour audio tour for Wednesday, March 16th, 2026. Metro News Hotline. Metro News Hotline comes to you from the Salango Law Studios. Visit salangolaw.com. Man, there's a lot of stuff happening in our broadcast window today, Coop. Got girls basketball action, got a little weather action. Kentucky's playing this afternoon. Pitt's playing this afternoon. WVU's got a basketball game tonight, trying to figure out whether Team USA is alive or not in the World Baseball Classic. There's some controversy there. So we got a lot of stuff going on today.
That's a real interesting thing that happened at the baseball class.
Yeah, rules, man. They're complicated.
Yeah, rules, and do we know what they are? Do we understand? Maybe it wasn't a great idea to have somebody without manager experience managing the club.
Anybody got a copy of the rules around here?
Yeah, right. What a big mess up.
It's a kerfuffle. Tell you what, though, I saw you outside, and you know what? I'm a little older than you, and I think it showed when we entered the building together today. I had a hat. I had a jacket. I'm wearing a sweater. And you just came wandering up the steps in your short shirt.
I was going to say, I wasn't wearing shorts.
No, just a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah, you know. I thought I could beat the rain. I had to run downtown for a minute and didn't.
Yeah.
Should have asked Bryan before I went.
Oh, that's right. We have weather support today. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's like having a sidekick in the studio.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Ryan's already jealous.
Oh, no.
I think it's fantastic. So how are we doing weather-wise? What's going on with that?
Well, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings are confined to Pennsylvania and Ohio at the moment.
Okay.
But the storms that ran through parts of southern Ohio just a bit ago, matter of fact, I'm getting info in right now on the latest updates here. I've got a guy who's at Cambridge, Ohio right now.
Okay.
With his chopper. And he was texting me, he goes, "This looks like a nasty storm south of us." I said, yes, it is. There are two storms that are rotating back up there around portions of southern Ohio, and that's going to be around McConnellsville and then Barnesville and Woodsville. Now, this same area has been impacted by storms. We had tornado warnings early, and those ran into the Panhandle area, Powhatan, and then also back into Moundsville. Wheeling, I think, needs to be keeping folks in Wheeling need to keep their eyes on these storms moving in from the west and southwest because they are rotating. They do have large hail, and that's something we're going to contend with. But back down across parts of Kanawha County, holy smokes. Stuff out around Adonijah, Montgomery, East Bank, tons of lightning. Matter of fact, this is the lightning storm of the day.
Wow.
Big time lightning. I imagine there's a number of power outages across eastern Kanawha County, stretching into Fayette County and back into portions of Clay and Nicholas County. That thunderstorm is going to continue off to the north and east. But right now, it's not severe, but there's a chance they could issue a severe thunderstorm warning on that just because of the hail that I specifically see around Pond Gap, Mount Olive, out there at the correctional center.
Yeah.
They've got hail.
Really?
Yes. The inmates, free ice.
Yeah. No, it's crazy today. This is how crazy the weather is. Coop, when I got in the car, it was 10 Hendricks degrees outside. It was stork-like, 83. When I arrived downtown at 1111 Virginia Street East, it had changed to LC Greenwood degrees. It was a 15-degree drop in like 10 minutes. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Hey, Metro News is your home for the West Virginia High School Girls Basketball Tournament. And we've already had an exciting session of games already today. Let me give you the finals on those. Games today, Nitro advances. They beat Princeton in the 9:30 game this morning at 48-40. Wheeling Central was an easy winner over Wayne today. That was the 11-15 game, 71-35. And in a game, an exciting game that just concluded here within the last few minutes, East Fairmont. Are they giant killers? They take out Spring Valley. So Spring Valley loses to the Bees of Fairmont East Final score in that game, 54-52. And if you're going by seeding, that is the biggest upset of the tournament so far. So East Fairmont, the number 7 seed, takes out Spring Valley 54-52. This is one of those days where we have a lot of college basketball conference action going on in our broadcast window. So in the Big 12, of course, WVU is the 7th seed in that tournament. They will play tonight against BYU. That's a 7 o'clock game tonight. Obviously, West Virginia needs to win this game to try to remain in the conversation, or at least just outside the conversation, of a possible at-large berth to the NCAA tournament. BYU is favored by 4.5 points in the game. The total is 140. Games already today. Man, what a beatdown. Iowa State just put it on Arizona State. This one was put on ice early. Iowa State had a 45-16 lead at the break, and they went on to win this game 91-42. 91-42, Iowa State took out Arizona State.
That's a record.
That's a lot of points, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's a Big 12. That's Big 12 record now for most points scored in a game against an opponent, or at least a spread.
Margin of victory.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and UCF. That's going to tip here in less than 5 minutes. UCF is on the right side of the conversation for an at-large bid. Cincinnati has to win this game if they want to. If they want to be continued to be considered for the NCAA tournament. If Cincinnati doesn't win this game, it is most likely going to be the last game for Wes Miller. ACC tournament in Greensboro down on Tobacco Road. We've got games going on this afternoon. Pitt was tied up in a good one with NC State. They pulled to within 5 points late, but the Pack wins the game 98-88. So, that might be, for Jeff Capel, maybe the last game at Pitt. So the Pack moves on. That's their 20th win of the season, 98-88 the final. And U of L is trailing SMU with about 55. Well, how much time left? About 9 minutes to go in the first half. SMU's got a 1-point lead on U of L. So we're keeping our eyes on all that kind of stuff as we move along this afternoon. We have a lot of guests that are coming in today to talk about the WVU basketball game. Tony Caridi is going to join us here in about 20 minutes. Because West Virginia's got a game tonight at 7 o'clock. Tony's normal spot with us at the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour gets moved up by a couple of hours today. So we'll have him live at 3:30, and then we'll replay his segment at 5:30 today. Matty Hahn, our college basketball insider, is going to be here at 4 o'clock. That's a little bit earlier. Coop, you got your pick one topics? You ready to go?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Ready to go? Hey, man, how you feeling today if you're Max Crosby? Did you see the Max Crosby situation?
Yeah.
So his trade to the Ravens has been voided. So the Ravens they were sending 2 first-round picks to the Raiders for Max Crosby, one of the elite rush defensive ends in the league. He did not pass his physical, so that deal is voided. So Max Crosby apparently just went right back to the Raiders facility this morning to work out.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, right?
So how, hey, former and apparently current teammate Max Crosby, how you feeling this morning?
Yeah, no doubt. That's crazy.
That is crazy, right? So the Ravens have kind of turned on a dime. The Ravens have turned on a dime here, and the number one free agent out there in free agency right now in the National Football League, Trey Hendrickson, formerly of the Bengals, gets a 4-year, $112 million deal to move to the Ravens. And so for the Ravens, this is a pretty good situation. They get their first-round picks back, and they get, I don't know, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Hendrickson or would you rather have Max Crosby? I'm thinking Hendrickson might be the guy I'd like to have. I don't know.
Slightly different. I mean, yeah. I mean, a little bit of a toss-up, but yeah, I think you're probably right on that.
Yeah. So not a good morning for Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was probably one of the masterminds behind this idea that they were going to bring Crosby, or going to send Crosby to Baltimore and use those picks to help rebuild the team. Now that trade's not going to happen. They got their picks back. For the Ravens, I think they actually did a little better in this situation. They got to keep the picks. Obviously, they have to pay Hendrickson, and he missed about half the season last year. But you go back 5 years, I think he had in the last 5 years in the NFL, he has the third most sacks, right behind Watt and right behind Myles Garrett.
Yeah, right.
Not bad.
No, not at
not
all.
bad.
Not much of a run defender, but
No.
but pretty good on the pass
Yeah,
rush.
pretty good. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the Team USA baseball situation?
Gentlemen, real quick,
Yeah.
we have a new tornado warning's been issued. And just so you know, it's going to go for Powhatan and also Moundsville.
Okay.
So that is going to be Marshall County. It's coming out of Belmont Monroe County. That tornado warning goes until 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. So that is it's a very intense thunderstorm, one I was talking about just a bit ago. But again, heading for Powhatan. Most likely, I think the center of circulation will go towards Moundsville.
All right, good. Coop, I'm liking this weather thing. Can we do this like every day? Even when it's not, even when we don't have bad weather?
I mean, you open up the show with the weather every day anyway.
Now,
so we can do
that is true. That is true. Oh, one basketball game I forgot to mention. Kentucky won today. So, man, when was the last time Kentucky was in the SEC basketball tournament and was kind of thought as an afterthought? I mean, they have like a whole room full of SEC tournament championships, but they are really not that well regarded in this tournament. They played LSU this afternoon. They win the game 87-82. That is that's 20th win of the season for the Cats. So they're moving on. Mississippi State and Auburn are playing right now. That game just tipped. Auburn is literally on the razor's edge of whether or not they're going to go to the NCAA tournament. So they must win this game to stay on there. But the Cats, UK, get the win. They win 87-82. All right. I just wanted to ask you about the Team USA baseball situation.
Yeah.
So, all right. Last night, they lose to Italy, 8-0. Did you watch much of the game?
8-6, but
8-6. I'm sorry, they were behind 8-0.
Right,
8-0. 8-6 was the final. The United States trailed 8-0 in this game. It was not a must win for the United States.
It was win and get
virtually,
in. It was a win and get in, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the controversy is that our manager, Mark DeRosa, was on MLB Network yesterday morning basically saying that we had already advanced to the quarterfinals, that we were already in. Now, he's saying after the game that he, quote-unquote, misspoke when he was on MLB Network, that he knew by the time that he got to the ballpark that they needed to win that game against Italy to clinch the spot. But that's not what the lineup showed. I mean, Bryce Harper didn't start. How in what world does Bryce Harper not start for Team USA?
Yeah, I feel there's a little backpedaling, I feel, going on here for a guy that maybe didn't have much situational understanding. And I think they're trying to cover it up a little bit, that he basically screwed up. I mean, I think it may be – I mean, you can look at this at a longer term and wonder about some of the pitching sequences that was used, about who was used versus whom. There's some – a little oddness in there. And, when you dial into things, I don't know, DeRosa, I don't think there's many people that dislike him in any way.
I like him.
But he is basically a broadcaster. Yeah. He's not a manager. Doesn't have any manager experience at all. There's some question about that, I think.
He's getting thrown under the bus today for the lineup that they put out there. And he was basically saying that he wanted to, quote unquote, get some of the stars off their feet and let some of the other guys play who had committed to the team to get in there last night.
You do that after you win your third game, and then your fourth game you can play whoever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
so we ran out there last night. We ran a guy out there, McLean, who I think had 8 combined major league starts, and he got shelled at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Aaron Judge is hearing a little bit of it today. He struck out to end the game with he was the potential tying run. Of course, Bryce Harper was at the plate in the 8th inning of this game with 2 runners on. He was representing the tying run. Anyway,
with regard to Judge, have people not seen the postseason? Generally speaking,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, there's so many things here. How about what has to happen tonight for the United States to get in?
Suddenly, high drama.
Okay, there's a couple of things. Italy plays Mexico tonight. The simplest way for the United States to advance to the quarterfinals is if Italy wins the game. If Italy wins the game, they beat Mexico, we good. We're into the quarterfinals. But if Mexico wins the game tonight, things get a little bit dicey. Because of run differential, if Mexico wins tonight, for the United States to get into the quarterfinal round, Mexico has to score 5 or more runs tonight. If, for example, that could happen very easily.
Sure.
It could happen very easily because I think we saw Italy's best performance. Lorenzen last night pitching for Italy had a great game. Can the Italian team come back and do that again tonight against Mexico? I don't think so. So this might be a moot point, but we'll have to wait and see. But how crazy is this? How is it possible that with all the money that that is involved in this particular tournament, that Team USA doesn't know the rules? That they didn't. The best pitcher we could roll out there for Team USA last night was a guy who's only had like a cup of coffee in the major leagues. How's that even possible?
A little interesting, isn't it? A little interesting. I was pretty when I saw the lineup yesterday. I was like, I don't understand what's happening here exactly. I don't understand what we're doing here. I thought maybe I didn't understand some of the situation, but it turns out that. Man, I thought maybe I misunderstood the competition. I'm like, is Italy supposedly bad? I thought they were actually pretty good. There was a lot of questionable things that I saw yesterday, but
this was by far the biggest win in baseball for Italy. Full stop.
Oh, well, sure.
Ever.
Yeah. Well,
ever.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm still watching. Coop, I'd even forgotten what channel this game was on. I didn't even start watching it until it was 8-0.
Was it on like the Tubi channel?
No, it was on FS1.
Oh, okay.
It was on FS1 last night. But we'll see what happens.
Back against the wall, not even in the
back
second
against
round.
the wall. Here's the thing: you're just not in control of your own destiny, right? That's the bad thing. And you could have been. You could have been. Now, hey, you know what? What if the United States had rolled out their best players last night and they had lost the game? Possible, right?
Yeah, all's fair.
It's possible, but that's not what we did. We rolled out a bunch of guys. Now, a bunch of stars did play in the game. Here's the thing also.
Well, you spotted them an 8-run lead and almost came back and won.
Yeah.
After you put your real players in. I mean, frankly.
If you take a look at the box score of the game last night, all of the damage was done at the bottom of the lineup. The top 5 batters for Italy in this game, where they beat the United States 8-6, they were 0 for 22 at the top of the order.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go. So and we'll hear some highlights of that coming up in the Sound of Sports. But as I said, we've got a lot of content today about WVU's basketball game, so we'll definitely get into that. Tony Caridi is going to be here in about 20 minutes. Let me roll out the question of the day. Question of the day. Coop, I'm going to be interested to see what you have to say about this. Brian Hughes as well. Question of the day. New research reveals 82% of Americans have traveled alone or want to try it, though many remain hesitant. A new survey found that 30% of adults fear driving alone, 31% avoid solo concerts, 26% won't travel by themselves. Safety concerns affect 26% of potential solo travelers, followed by cost worries at 25% and fear of loneliness at 23%. Walking at night worries 59% of respondents. Staying in unfamiliar places concerns 51%. And navigating airports and airport problems, 44%. So here's the question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law. Do you like traveling alone? And what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Do you like traveling alone? And what's the farthest trip you have ever made by yourself? Now, if you follow me on X, you get a little bit of a jump on the question of the day. It normally gets rolled out around 1:30 or so. So we've already got a bunch of really intriguing responses, but we want yours as well. Send those in. Get them to us on the text line at 304-TALK, 304-825-5304. 304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. Do you like traveling alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Brian, what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself?
Now, is it driving or is it flying?
It's any way you want to answer it in 30 seconds.
I've flown from Pittsburgh to California,
okay,
Los Angeles, and then I've also driven from Flint, Michigan, down to Lubbock, Texas.
Wow, how far is that?
A lot. I'll tell you this. I hate Kansas. Matter of fact, I drove through Kansas twice, and I said, I'm never doing this again. It's the worst state to ever drive through. So I purposely drove around Kansas so I didn't have to experience it again.
All right, so that's the question of the day. Do you like traveling alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Let's take a break. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail?
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Hardwood Heat meets the Mountain State in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Girls High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 14th. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Daniel Woods. A former Kanawha County Sheriff's deputy accused of sexually assaulting a female inmate will not go on trial next month. Cass Close was originally scheduled to be tried April 6th on a charge of imposition of sexual acts on persons incarcerated, detained, or under supervision for allegedly forcing a female inmate to perform sexual acts while she waited for a hearing. Putnam County Circuit Judge Mark Sorcea has been appointed special judge for the case and presided over a hearing Wednesday in which Close's attorney Matthew Victor requested and was granted a continuance, rescheduling the trial for August 3rd. Victor stated multiple times his client did not want the trial continued, and Close expressed that to the judge with an apparent belief the transfer of evidence in the case should have happened more quickly. According to Victor, investigation into the case is ongoing, and he noted there is still the possibility it's taken over by federal prosecutors. A Kanawha County man will spend decades behind bars, receiving the maximum sentence for beating a woman to death and pushing his grandmother down a flight of stairs after pleading guilty to those crimes. Kanawha County Circuit Judge Kerry Webster sentenced Isaac Surface on Wednesday to the maximum of 40 years in prison for second-degree murder in the death of Laura Farley and 3 to 15 years for the attempted murder of his grandmother, Betty Surface. The two sentences will be served consecutively. West Virginia University has a new dean of libraries and press. Mark Paris, the Associate University Librarian for Scholarly Resources and Discovery at Brandeis University, is taking on the role. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Grant Maltba, Project Manager with CEC. Ever dreamt of working hands-on with wildlife? As a bat biologist at CEC, I do just that. Every day is a new adventure, tackling unique challenges and helping clients meet their Endangered Species Act requirements. It's not just rewarding for me, but it boosts our local economy and aids bat conservation too. Want to make a difference in the field? Join us at CEC. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
A bill cutting the state income tax by 5% is headed to the House floor, passed by the House Finance Committee. State Deputy Revenue Secretary Dr. Peter Shirley says the cut is basically a wash.
The governor, in his revenue estimates, reduced his estimates to incorporate that. So in the sense of just how many fewer dollars would flow in, about $125 million. In the sense of the budget already accounts for that.
The governor initially proposed a 10% cut. At the Metro News Anchor desk, I'm Daniel Woods.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. As long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
You're not just quitting for yourself. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
All right, welcome back. Tony Caridi is going to join me in just a sec. All right, Coop, we were talking about this nightmare with Team USA Baseball and the World Baseball Classic and what has to happen tonight for the United States to advance. If Italy beats Mexico, we good, all right?
We're fine.
We're fine.
And,
we're fine.
And my good friend, my buddy, my soulmate, Aaron Nola, is pitching for Italy.
That's right. That's right. So I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Yes.
So Mexico, if Mexico wins, but if Mexico scores 5 or more runs, we also good. We're good.
They have to score 5 or more runs.
Yes,
if
have to
they
score.
win.
Yeah, that's not the run differential. If Mexico scores 5 runs, we're good. Except in this scenario, which I just found. It can't be announced at the moment that if Mexico scores 5 runs, because it's not a 100% certainty. If Mexico wins with 6 runs and has no outs in the bottom of the 13th, then Team USA would be eliminated. Okay, so it's a situation where, say, Mexico and Italy are tied at 5, and then we get into the 13th inning, suddenly we fall under that threshold again. So what we're rooting for is we want Italy to win, or we want Mexico to score 5 runs or more, and for the game not to go to extra innings. All right?
And we have to win.
And yes.
So, yeah, there's all those things.
So there's a bunch of ways to win, but there are still a couple of ways we could lose. Speaking of something we don't want to happen, like West Virginia losing tonight against BYU, let's go to Kansas City, where Tony Caridi is standing by, getting ready for the game tonight against BYU. Tony, you really didn't have to do too much pregame prep for this game, right? I mean, you just saw the Cougars a little over a week ago.
Yeah, it was 11 days ago. Just had to update a few numbers here and there. And other than that, they will be very recognizable. West Virginia, of course, got them in Morgantown 79-71, Dave, and we'll try to get them twice here before this season comes to an end. You would eliminate them, and you would advance on to the quarterfinals tomorrow.
So Iowa State made short work of Arizona State, and that's an understatement, earlier today, 91-42 in a game where the Cyclones led the Sun Devils 45-16 at the half. Is it safe to assume that was Bobby Hurley's last game at Arizona State?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's done. That was it, and they played like it. You're able to kind of get in here, I think, and fake it for one game like they did yesterday. But when you take on a team that's really, really good, as Iowa State is, and they're rested and they're ready, they just absolutely boat raced them. That was the worst beatdown margin of victory, Dave, in the tournament's history.
Wow.
So he went out in record-setting style.
There you go. Cincinnati and UCF are playing now, and the Bearcats lead that game 11-7, about 12 minutes to go until halftime. Is it considered that this would be Wes Miller's last game if the Bearcats do not win?
That is a really good question, one that was discussed by our group while we were watching games here yesterday. I don't know, Dave. Did he do enough? Do they have a surefire guy that could replace him and immediately do better? I don't know, Dave. I truly don't know. I'm interested to see what UCF does. They were in their locker room inside Hope Coliseum for not 1, but 2 hours after last Friday's game. And those normally go one way or the other. Yeah. So are they going to implode here? That's what I want to see. Or will that serve as a catalyst to get them going? Because they've lost 3 in a row.
All right, let's talk a little bit about West Virginia and BYU tonight. DeBansa obviously is a horse. He was named as a first-team All-American today by the Sporting News. He scored 40 points last night in his first appearance in the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. West Virginia did a pretty good job against him the last time he played against the old Gold and Blue. WVU held him to 20 points. What is the defensive scout on DeBansa? What does West Virginia try to do to limit his effectiveness?
Well, you try to run people at him, and you try to force him to pass the ball. And they did a really good job with that, Dave, in the first game. The other thing they did a really good job of was they didn't foul. Brennan Lorient did a superb job guarding him, and Brennan only had 2 fouls the entire game. Their whole goal, and DeBansa's whole goal when he plays, and we watched him last night, is he will try to initiate contact. He will try to draw fouls. He uses that offhand masterfully to initiate the contact and oftentimes gets the calls. And so while this game starts here tonight, if Lorient or whomever is guarding him on a switch gets themselves into foul trouble, it could be a long day. However, if West Virginia plays with its hands up, doesn't reach, uses its chest and body for the contact, and they can just stay in front of them, then you take your swing. When he got the 20 in Morgantown, that was a season low, believe it or not. Since that game, he's averaged 27 points. He's leading the nation in scoring on the season at 25 points per game. So he's absolutely magic. But another big key, Dave, is when they do miss, you got to get rebounds. West Virginia crunched those guys on the glass. They had 39 rebounds in Morgantown, and 18 of those were on the offensive glass. And so when West Virginia, if they do, in fact, miss shots, which they've been prone to do, they've got to get second chances and sometimes even third chances. Those were key in the first game.
So DeBansa's not a one-man team. Rob Wright had 23 when they played against West Virginia recently. Kostick had a dozen. And BYU, I mean, obviously after what we saw in the game last night, they can score points in bunches, and they made a 14-point lead, a 14-point WVU lead go away pretty quickly and made a run at West Virginia at the end of that game recently.
Well, they've done it all season, Dave. You go back to their Clemson game at Clemson, they're down 22, and they come right back, and they're right in games. That is their MO as well. We kind of look at West Virginia and say West Virginia goes into droughts. A lot of teams go into droughts. It's more noticeable because West Virginia is the one that people follow, but they do as well. And you mentioned Rob Wright. So he had another good game against West Virginia. He's played them twice now, and he averages 20 points per game. Baylor a year ago as a freshman, and now he plays, obviously, for BYU. You try to slow him down. he's a defensive liability. West Virginia absolutely attacked him in Morgantown. So I don't know what his plus-minus was in that game, but while you listen to or watch the game tonight, West Virginia will isolate him. They'll try to switch onto him, and you'll see that dribble down play that West Virginia uses with Jasper Floyd, and they will try to isolate him, take him inside. He doesn't want to guard.
All right, so BYU's favored in the game by 4.5 points. Tony, let me ask you, inside the WVU program, let's look at this scenario. If West Virginia beats BYU and then would go on and beat Houston in the next game, is there a thought that would be enough to earn an at-large berth?
You're probably starting the conversation again, Dave, but at this point, I think you're just trying to get by today, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, the scenario on this team is going to be this, Dave. They didn't beat Clemson. They didn't beat Ohio State. They didn't beat Utah. They didn't beat Kansas State, right? They didn't beat TCU. They didn't get Baylor at home. Those are the ones that are going to be like scars that will never leave them, and they would have to do something extraordinary here over the next several days in order to get back onto the other side of the conversation.
Well, Tony, I appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully you'll have a long stay there in Kansas City that goes beyond today's game with BYU.
I would enjoy it, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, Tony Caridi joining us from Kansas City, where West Virginia is in the Big 12 tournament. The Mountaineers are the 7th seed. They're a slight underdog tonight to BYU. That game will tip at 7 o'clock Eastern. All right, let's take a break, and Jeff Erickson from Rotowire is coming up next.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Hi, I'm Chris Waddell, Principal and Office Lead for Martinsburg for CEC. After serving in the military, I found my home in Martinsburg. Traveling across the states, I've always wanted to serve my community. At CEC, I get to do just that. Our core values, clients first and we own it, resonate with my mission-driven background. We solve problems by listening and collaborating, and as an employee-owned firm, we take pride in every project that we do. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Metro News Hotline, brought to you by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All right, welcome back to the show. 13 minutes till the hour. Jeff Erickson, senior editor at Rotowire, joins me now on a very busy day. Jeff, how you doing today?
Dave, my head is spinning because there's so much going on, and it's only going to accelerate tomorrow when the TPC starts.
Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, I want to get to the baseball here in just a sec, but I got to get your take on, from a fantasy perspective, man, Bam Adebayo, he's enough to move you up a couple of spots in a league after what he did last night. Second best scoring night in the history of the NBA with 83 points against the Wizards. From a fantasy perspective, how do you interpret that kind of thing?
Well, I happen to have him. It's a head-to-head league, so head-to-head points league. So we're not like competing in categories, but I really needed him this week because I'm already down Tyrese Maxey and Dylan Brooks on my roster. The way our format goes is we switched this year to head-to-head, but best ball within the week.
Okay.
So in case of injuries, in case of things where, all the injury load management stuff that happens. So this is monstrous for me. It's huge.
Yeah, so Maxey, I guess he's going to be re-examined in, 3 weeks? So he's going to be out for a while.
Which means I lose him for the fantasy playoffs after he carried me there. I've got a rocket ship of a team, but it's sprouting oil right now there and leaking oil, and I'm really hoping that I can hang on.
All right, let's talk a little bit. You're a Reds guy. Let's talk a little bit about the Hunter Green situation. So Green had surgery today to remove bone chips in his elbow. He'll be out until July. From a fantasy perspective, how is that impacting his value in drafts?
If you don't have IL spots, he's undraftable. Especially if you have a limited number of reserve spots, you could try to time the market and try to get him so you can activate him. But mid-July, that's like the best case scenario.
Yep.
That's what there's probably not any scenario where he gets back earlier than that. And there are setbacks that happen all the time. So kind of cross him off my list. Unfortunately, I've got him in a couple of key keeper leagues. Unfortunately, it's what it is. I'm just stuck with them there. So be it. But yeah, it's a tough look. It hurts the Reds, even though they are deep. They've got guys like Rhett Lauder and Brandon Williamson who will be good. They're not Hunter Green.
No.
And so it just moves everybody up a peg. It means that Chase Burns isn't a bonus. He's relied upon. It means Nick Lodolo needs to throw 175 innings this year. I'm not sure that can happen, so we'll see.
So about Burns, how concerned are you about his control? He's obviously got immense talent. Projecting him for 2026, what are you looking at?
Well, he's refining his pitches. He got hurt last year after they call up a little bit. Guy that throws that hard, you're always worried that he's a ticking time bomb. You just saw what happened with Hunter Green, the guy that throws that hard, and how infrequently he's been able to make it through a full season. So I love the talent. I love the strikeout ability. Oh, my goodness, this is risky. It's going to be last year. The Reds were a team of run prevention that got them to the playoffs. This year, it's it's going to be those hitters that are going to have to take the next step up. Matt McClain, Noelvi Marte through a full season. Ellie needs to be better. That's why signing Suarez was such a big deal for this team.
One more Reds question. Spencer Steers is dropping in terms of where he's been drafted. What's your thoughts on that? I'm not sure I understand. I guess I understand why, but I still see him as a valuable fantasy player.
Yeah, well, the thing is, his defense isn't as strong as other players on that team, so he may lose out on some playing time at times. He's had struggled to stay healthy last year too. I think that drags on him a little bit. No longer do you get the multi-position eligibility. You only get first base for now. Hopefully, outfield will be added back in most traditional formats in terms of like games by position. And it impacted his bat as well. The other thing is the Reds are extremely right-handed. Suarez, Hayes, Sal Stewart, who's going to play a lot, I hope. Noelvi Marte, Matt McClain, Tyler Stevenson, they're all right-handed hitters. The Reds need a couple more left-handed bats in the lineup. So who loses out when you need that left-handed bat? Steer could be that guy. Marte could be that guy.
Yeah, Stewart's had a great spring. McClain's had a great spring as well. A couple of other stories I wanted to ask you about. Josh Hader's going to start the year on the DL for the Astros. How big of a story is this? If Houston should win a lot of games, I mean, who are you looking at to maybe try to grab some saves before he comes back?
This isn't really a new development. We kind of knew all along that he wasn't going to be ready for the start of the season after getting shut down at the start of spring training with the biceps tendonitis. Bryan Abreu is the clear replacement. Took his place last year when Hader was dealing with the shoulder issues. I'm worried about Hader for the whole season. Go get Bryan Abreu. 3 straight years of 100-plus strikeouts solely as a reliever. That's incredible. There's no other reliever like him out in baseball right now. Go get Bryan Abreu.
Spring training baseball today. Pirates lose in Sarasota to the O's 7-2. The Reds are hosting the Brewers. That game starting in about 10 minutes. I want to ask you about Corbin Carroll. He is in the lineup for the Diamondbacks today. He's making his spring debut. If he hadn't if he wasn't injured, he would have been one of the top 5 guys going in drafts in mixed leagues. Where do you see Corbin Carroll now?
Yeah, certainly as a first-rounder, he might have been more like 7 or 8, depending on how you rank him. I think Acuna has probably leapfrogged him regardless. But he's end of the first round, beginning of the second round in most leagues now. He's had some slow starts. That's the one thing I am a little bit concerned about, especially coming back from a Hammett bone to begin with. The Hammett bone guys, he's definitely ahead of Lindor, way ahead of Jackson Holliday. So that's good news at least. And he is a quick recoverer. He's got a history of coming back from injuries quickly. Sometimes that works against you. Sometimes they come back too quickly, and you got to watch for that, watch for relapses, or just impact on performance. So I would expect him to be a little quiet in terms of power early on, but, man, I still want him on my team.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. No, so you mentioned that Carroll is ahead of Lindor. I'm seeing this note at Rotowire today that Lindor is coming in as a defensive replacement in some minor league baseball action, so he can't be too far away.
Yeah, and the Mets all along have said they were hopeful that he'll be ready for opening day. So he's on track for that still. Still got 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks, but it's still 2 weeks. That's probably enough for Lindor to get pretty close to up to speed. Lindor also started slowly the last couple of years, so something to watch for with that.
All right, one more injury update. So what's the deal on Rafi Devers of the Giants?
He's got the hamstring injury. He was able to return to action this week. I'm a little watchful of this to make sure there's no relapses. Also, I'm a little lower than the crowd on Rafi Devers, in part because of the ballpark he hits in. Oracle Park is really tough on left-handed power, and though he hit for power after joining the Giants, he hit .230 with the Giants also. So I worry a little bit about that.
You know what? Finally, I mean, you've been following baseball a long time. Have you ever seen a snafu like this Team USA situation in the WBC?
Yeah, I was talking with Coop about that before I jumped on with you. DeRosa had a horrible comment. It was horrible. But if you watch how he managed the game, other than Harper for Goldschmidt, I don't think I would have made too many other changes. That's the thing. Just don't give up 8 runs to Italy, and you're fine.
Yeah. All right, got to leave it there. Jeff, thanks for jumping on with us today. I do appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, Dave.
All right, Jeff Erickson, senior editor at Rotowire.com. We do a segment about fantasy sports every Wednesday at 3:45. Let's take a quick break. We're back to wrap hour number 1 in just a moment.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Hardwood Heat meets the Mountain State in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Girls High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 14th. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
/vets today.
All right, that's it for the first hour of the show, but honestly, we're just getting warmed up. We'll take a break for news here at the top of the hour. Come back and run down another crazy day on Wall Street. We'll get some of your responses to our question of the day about whether or not you like to drive or travel alone, and where's the longest trip you've ever taken alone. Also, Matt Hahn, our college basketball insider, will be by with his take on WVU's game tonight in the Big 12 tournament against BYU. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it. Because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Something, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian who...
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could...
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably... Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bounced him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hour number 2, How Do You Do? Metro News Hotline with you in the afternoon here on the Metro News Radio Network. Every afternoon until 6 o'clock. Thanks so much for tuning in today, folks. I really do appreciate it. Wherever you're listening to the show today, inside the state of West Virginia or beyond the borders, just trying to get a read on what's going on back home, we hope you're having a good day. Got a lot of stuff to get into in this particular hour. It's going to be a busy couple of hours on the show. Another wild day on Wall Street. We'll run down the numbers here in just a second. We will reset our question of the day about traveling alone. Some people don't like it. Others prefer it. We have a lot of responses to our question of the day about that. Matt Hahn, our college basketball insider, is going to join us. Normally, he comes on a little later in the show, but he's joining us early today. WVU's got a big basketball game tonight at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City against BYU. BYU was a winner last night, and A.J. DeManza was named as a first-team All-American today by the Sporting News. Can West Virginia shut him down the day after he poured in 40 in his first tournament game last night at KC? We'll find out. We'll talk about it anyway. Also, a little bit later on in the hour, we will have our entertainment report. 4:33 today, we will get into the Pick One segment. If you've never heard it, I think you're going to enjoy it. Also, a little bit later on in this hour, we will open up the On This Date file at around 4:50-ish, and then have the 5 things to know at 5 o'clock before we hit the top of the hour. That's about 52 minutes away. All right, let me get you caught up on what happened at the West Virginia High School girls basketball tournament today. Day 2 of the tournament, and Metro News is your home for all the games. Go to the website, WVMetroNews.com. Brackets, scores, recaps, anything you'd want to know in terms of the girls tournament, it's all there at the website. Games today, the 9:30 game, Nitro in AAA was a winner over Princeton, 48-42. AA Wheeling Central defeated 6-seeded Wayne, 71-35. And when you look at the seeding, the biggest upset of the tournament so far were the 7th seed. East Fairmont was able to knock out the 2nd seed, Spring Valley, 54-52 earlier today. Games coming tonight at 5:30. Greenbrier East and Hampshire, Williamstown and Philip Barber will follow at approximately 7:15. And then the final game of the night, John Marshall and Kaiser. They'll tip that one at about 9 o'clock. And as I said, Metro News has got that covered wall to wall. So check it out. All right, let's go ahead and get into what happened today in the financial markets. In the markets today, the Dow was down 0.6%, losing 289 points today. The Dow closing at 47,417. S&P 500 relatively flat today, down but less than 6 points, 67.75 at the close. NASDAQ actually went positive with a little bit of a burst of positive action in the final hour of trading. NASDAQ was up 19 points today, closing at 22,716. Among stocks of local interest to West Virginia that were big percentage gainers or losers today. FMC was up 2.7%, tacked on 37 cents. $14.11 at the close today. Halliburton also up 1.7%, added 59 cents today, $35.93 at the close. Conversely, Lowe's was down 1.6%, lost $3.90, ended the session at $247.22. What about oil? That's what we're all watching now. Oil up again today, up 5.2%, gaining $4.30. WTI in the NYMEX closed at $87.75. Nat gas was up too, almost 6% today, tacked on 18 cents, and at the moment trading at $3.20 per unit. And as I mentioned all day, or every day on the program, while oil trading has stopped for the moment, you can essentially trade natural gas 23 out of the 24 hours of the day. It'll take an hour break at 5 p.m. Eastern time, but just cranks right up 60 minutes later. So this is just a snapshot of where we are in natural gas. Natural gas at the moment, $3.20 per unit. Here's our question of the day. Question of the day has to do with travel and traveling by yourself. A new survey found that 30% fear driving alone, 31% avoid solo concerts, and 26% won't travel by themselves. Safety concerns affect 26% of potential solo travelers, followed by cost worries at 25%, and fear of loneliness at 23%. So the question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law, do you like traveling alone? Do you like traveling alone? And what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Do you like to travel alone? And what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? To respond, text those in, 304-TALK, 304, 304-8255, 304. Tweet me, I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. And we got a lot of great responses to this, as we always do. Coop, our listeners are the best. I mean, absolutely the best. Let's get into some of this stuff. Here are some of the responses from X. Here's one from Jim Bob. He says, hey, Dave, by car, 12 hours. By plane, Kuwait. Via London and Pittsburgh. I don't mind traveling alone if there's access to audiobooks or decent radio. Anthony in Clarksburg, one of our regular listeners. I love it when Anthony weighs in. He says, Dave, I'm a truck driver here, so I think the time I went from Gencor to Orlando is as far as I've ever been, and I'm a local driver. Let's see. Bryan on X. Dave, I love listening to podcasts and radio while traveling alone. I also love stopping for dinner and having a steak at a bar with a ball game on TV. Sean on X. Dave, driving alone doesn't bother me. Longest by myself has to be Fairmont to either Mobile, Alabama or Cleveland, Mississippi. I'm too lazy to look it up. That's okay, Sean. No problem, man. I'll do the heavy lifting for you. One more, and then we'll talk some basketball for the Mountaineer game tonight. Major moves on X. Dave, I enjoy driving alone. I like podcasts, audiobooks, radio shows, etc. While driving, as far as the long distance is concerned in one trip, Watertown, New York to Miami. Oh, now that's a haul, son. That'll get your attention. Watertown, New York to Miami. You know what? I may have to look that one up. That's a pretty long trip. Let me get our college basketball insider, Matt Hahn, into the mix to talk about tonight's WVU game with BYU. Matt, how you doing?
Doing great, Dave. And the question of the day is classic. It made me think of a recruiting trip I took one time as an assistant from Robert Morris University to Jersey City, New Jersey. The kid I was recruiting for, that was at St. Anthony's for the legendary Bobby Hurley. Anyway, it was about 6 hours each way, and I got popped up with a speeding ticket on both legs.
Both legs? Oh, man, that's awful. Hey, man, I got to ask you a question before we get into the WVU basketball game tonight with BYU, because I was thinking about you earlier this week. Earlier this week was the anniversary of the game that some people consider to be the greatest college basketball game of all time. And I know you know what I'm talking about. The ACC final in 1974, where NC State beat Maryland 103-100 in overtime. The Pack went on with David Thompson to win the national championship that year. Maryland had such a great team. Tom McMillan, Len Elmore were on that team. That team refused to play in the NIT, and they just ended it right there. That was back in the day when only one team could go to the NCAA tournament from a particular conference, and it would be the conference tournament winner. Your dad played in that game. Your dad, Billy Hahn, played in that game. Did he ever talk to you about that game or his memories of it?
He talked about that my whole life. In particular, that team. He thought that team could win a national championship, and it was them and NC State all year. And he always talks about how good those players at NC State were. A lot of young folks don't realize David Thompson, he was like the original Skywalker. He was just an incredible athlete. So my dad always talked about how good he was. And then John Lucas, I mean, he was the number one pick in the NBA draft as a point guard, and Dad backed him up in Maryland. So he didn't play in that game a whole lot, Dave. But he tells me he could play anyway.
Yeah, well, Mo Howard was on the team for Maryland, and Tom Roy. That was an unbelievable Maryland team. And I remember they replayed that game. I think ACC Networks had it, and I've watched it a couple of times. Your dad got in the game in the most critical point of the game. He was in the overtime.
Yeah, he was in the overtime. I think somebody may have fouled out. I can't recall who.
I think it might have been Mo Howard.
Might have been Mo Howard. And I remember him, one of the plays he made was he was trying to dive and save a ball that went out of bounds. So he was in there. during crunch time, and they, unfortunately for the Terp fans, that was the all-time heartbreaker. But it did lead to expansion of the NCAA tournament for sure.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so what do you think about West Virginia and going up against BYU tonight and DeBanza? I mean, after he had such a great game last night in the opening round with 40 points, what do you think about West Virginia BYU tonight?
I think at WVU, when they played them at home in the first matchup, it was probably their best overall performance of the season, and they did a terrific job on DeBanza. They made him work for everything, and they limited his attempts. Now, the thing that makes me a little bit worried tonight is that guy's clearly playing a little bit more aggressive. He looks like a man on a mission. He's made some comments about not being the Big 12 Player of the Year. He said, well, we need to win more, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and I think he's going to be aggressive, looking to score. And Dave, that guy scores like we breathe. It's effortless. He can do it inside, outside, three-pointers, at the rim, on the post. And what WVU, I listened to Tony earlier, he's absolutely correct. You just can't give him anything easy. You got to keep him in front and make him take tough shots over you and not foul the guy. Because if he can get rhythm at the line, that is going to be detrimental to the Mountaineers.
So West Virginia is a 7th seed. They did not have to play yesterday. BYU did. I mean, these guys play AAU games every single day and during the offseason. How much of an advantage is it really for West Virginia not to have played yesterday?
I don't think it's much of an advantage at all because BYU already has those nerves out of their system. They played a game in the tournament. Whereas WVU, this is the first game. They got to get some kinks out. They haven't played for a while. There's been an extended break. So it might even be advantageous towards BYU. I think WVU, the added rest is good. It gives you some more time to prepare. BYU had less time to specifically prepare for the Mountaineers. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit of a wash, and I think you just tip the ball up and let's go.
So how do you slow the tempo of BYU? Because every time they get it off the glass, they want to go.
I think you're very selective in your shot selection. The Mountaineers have played at a slow pace all year, and if they don't have anything early, they really run clock and get into the end of the shot clock. I think part of that is controlling the glass. It was really advantageous to WVU in that first matchup. They really got a bunch of second chance points, 15-8. They out-rebounded BYU on the glass, offensive glass, 18-8. So it was one of those situations where when they missed a shot, they got on the offensive glass and got putbacks, and that prevented BYU from getting runouts and leak-outs. And the other thing, Dave, is they really did a good job of taking care of the basketball, only 8 turnovers in that game. So if you take care of the ball and rebound, you should be in pretty good shape.
When you look at BYU, people like to look at why they haven't been quite as successful as many people believe to this point of the season because of their poor defense. And so you think that's kind of an advantage for West Virginia. But, West Virginia really has struggled at the offensive end. They're really not that great of an offensive team. And it was great that Lorient stepped up and got 17 points from the Mountaineers when they played 11 days ago. But Honor Huff really didn't play that well in that game. He had some big threes, but he really struggled to get his shots.
That was a team effort. Lorient played well. Huff made some shots at the end there that were crucial, but they got bench production. DJ Thomas, the freshman, came off the bench and got 13. Chance Moore got 11. Jasper Floyd was solid. That was really a game where we saw him backing Robert Wright down in the post and really conducting the offense as a point guard out of the post position, which you don't see all the time. So I think they have to get multiple contributions. They got to get energy and contributions off the bench, and that should equate to being able to score enough to get the victory.
Hey, let me ask you this, and we're wrapping up with Matt Hahn, our college basketball insider. West Virginia plays BYU tonight in the Big 12 tournament. The Mountaineers are currently a 4.5 point underdog in the game. What do you make about the chatter about the lighting of the court and that some people are having an issue with it? Much ado about nothing, or is this a legitimate concern going forward?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a much ado about nothing because it affects all the teams. There's no advantage gained there. I think the starting lineups that I saw the other night looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been on a glass court before. I'm not sure, what that leads to, but it doesn't look like there's, been any crazy injuries or anything like that. I know the player from Kansas State said the lights were giving him migraines, but
right.
Who knows? I think it's kind of one of those things that's a cool novelty. I guess if you're going to try it, why not?
All right, got to leave it there. Matt, thanks for jumping on with us. Win or lose tonight, you and I will be talking again soon.
Yeah, it's NCAA tournament time, Dave. It's March Madness. You got to love it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Matt Hahn, our college basketball insider. Speaking of college basketball, we have a couple of clips I did want to play here before we take the break. WVU meets BYU in the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City tonight at 7 o'clock. BYU eliminated K-State 105-91 in the first round last night. 40 points by A.J. Devanza. Here's Cougars coach Kevin Young on advancing to tonight's game against 7-seeded WVU.
Yeah, just hard-fought game. Obviously a high-scoring game. They got off to a great start. We're shooting the heck out of the three. Thought our guys did a good job of responding. I thought that run we made to end the first half was critical for us to, obviously cut the lead, but then gain momentum. And then, we were able to get enough stops and string enough stops together there in the second half to get a spread. So it was a good game for us.
At the ACC tournament in Charlotte, Virginia Tech is one and done. The Hokies were losers to Wake Forest last night in OT 95-89. Here's Virginia Tech's Mike Young on the first-round loss and the impact of not having injured big man Amani Hansberry available, who played at West Virginia last season, available for the game.
It was apparent that he wasn't going to be able to do it, so we had to sit him. And that's a tremendous loss, needless to say. Not the story of the game. The story of the game is Wake Forest played a little bit better than we did, and disappointing, but I thought they did some good things, a little bit better than the Hokies, unfortunately.
On the ice last night, Penn's opened a 5-game road trip at Carolina. They earned a point but wanted more in a 5-4 shootout loss to the Hurricanes. The Penguins rallied from 2 goals down to force the OT. Brian Rust had a pair of goals, but needed Anthony Mantha to score to keep the shootout going.
Mantha against Anderson. Mantha 0 for 2. Anderson in his crease. Here comes Anthony Mantha. Mantha in, forehand, backhand. Anderson gets the win. Mr. Anderson with the denial. And Carolina wins the shootout 2-1, and they'll take the game 5-4. And it's their 12th straight game with a point at Lenovo Center.
The Penguins are at Vegas tomorrow night. After the game, here's Penn's coach Dan Muse on the failure in the shootout.
As I've said before, I'll take plenty of blame for this myself. I got to do a better job of, putting these guys in, good situations for this. We got to work together to, odds are we're going to be in another one. We'll be in some more, and so we got to. I can't change tonight. I can't change the shootouts in the past, but we can keep looking for ways and trying different guys and work till we get it.
In Tampa, the Blue Jackets got it done on the road against the Lightning, winning 5-2. Connor Garland scored 2 goals for the second straight game, including an insurance power play goal in the third period.
Garland flips it in. Gets in after it. Carlisle is up there as well. This one comes free for Hagel, and his backhander doesn't get out. Look out, loose puck, drop back. Garland scores. Connor Garland, back-to-back 2-goal games, and he extends the lead back to 2 for Columbus.
The Blue Jackets visit the Panthers in Miami tomorrow night. Let's take a break. The Entertainment Report is next.
Don't forget about our podcast. Check out your favorite podcast provider or simply go to WVMetroNews.com and click on the podcast link. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra. Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
.org/brainhealth to learn more.
ABC Entertainment News.
This anniversary is for them, it's for us. This feels like home to me.
Sweet Niblets! Miley Cyrus is returning to the role of Hannah Montana to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the series, and Disney Plus has just released the first trailer. The special will mark Miley's first time in the iconic blonde wig in 15 years. The Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special is set to debut on Disney Plus on March 24th. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
There's a huge universe out there.
Universal Pictures has released the final trailer for the new Mario film, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, as well as announcing several new voice actors, including Issa Rae as Honey Queen and Donald Glover as Yoshi. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is slated to release in theaters on April 1st. And happy birthday to Jodie Comer, who's 33 today. Mike Dabowski, ABC News.
Mike, thanks. We'll take a break for local news here at the bottom of the hour, and we'll play Pick One when we come back. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Morgan Pemberton. The House Finance Committee is moving legislation that would cut personal income taxes by 5% while also increasing taxes on vape products. The full House will now consider the 5% tax cut. Committee Chair Vernon Criss says the 5% is going to have to do for now, even though Governor Patrick Morrisey was advocating for a 10% tax cut.
He had no reason to give us ask for a 10% cut without providing the legislation or the vessel to be able to do that. So the 5% is what he's going to get.
The 5% tax cut is estimated to amount to about $125 million in state revenue. You can read more at wvmetronews.com. The State Board of Education received an update on Hancock County School District today, 2 months after it was placed under state control due to financial issues. In January, it was discovered that the district was operating about 140 positions over the state aid formula. Superintendent Walter Saunders told board members that they have begun looking over employment contracts in order to save money.
We've also completed an analysis of contract structures of 261-day contracts, resulting in a decrease of more than 400 contract days across the district.
They also received an update on Upshur County Schools, who has been under a state of emergency since 2023. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate!
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
A Fayette County man is now facing charges in connection to a Christmas Eve crash that occurred in Fayette County that caused major damage to a home. 46-year-old Wesley Queen is charged with DUI, reckless driving, destruction of property, failure to maintain control, and improper registration. Fayette County Sheriff's Department says that Queen had lost control of his vehicle on Gatewood Road on December 24th and crashed his pickup truck into a home, causing a fire. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Morgan Pemberton.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is 4:33. Just another quick update on what's going on at the West Virginia Girls High School Basketball Tournament. Games today already in the books. Metro News is your home for all this stuff. Nitro winner over Princeton, 48-40. Wheeling Central defeated Wayne, 71-35. East Fairmont in a little bit of an upset over Spring Valley. The Bees, the 7 seed, beats second-seeded Spring Valley in AAA 54-52. The nighttime session, Greenbrier East and Hampshire tip it up at 5:30. Williamstown and Philip Barber at 7:15. John Marshall and Kaiser at approximately 9 o'clock. As I said, there's tons of information at the website, wvmetronews.com. Go to the high school sports tab. Or better yet, when you go to the main page, you'll see a banner at the top, High School Girls Basketball Central. Click on that, and there's more information than you could ever use about what's going on across town at the Girls High School Basketball Tournament. And next week, Coop, the boys will be here.
That's what I hear.
And there's a ton of regional finals tonight in boys action. We don't want to overlook that. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on in the program. All right. What do you say? Let's do a little pick one. A little pick one. I think that's a good plan for a Wednesday afternoon. Pick one. Rules are kind of explained in the title. In pick one for each topic, 2 choices are given, and you must select one of them. Hence, you must pick one. Coop and I have 5. Count them 5. Pick one topics. We have not seen each other's pick one selections. There are no correct answers. There are simply opinions. Honest responses are likely to result in hurt feelings that could jeopardize our friendship and working relationship, but we're willing to risk all that for the sake of higher ratings. Let's get started. Are you ready with pick one topic number 1?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
How about this? Pope Leo. Pope Leo ranks as the most popular American figure right now.
Wow.
Pope Leo is number 1. A brand new poll done by NBC of 1,000 registered voters, the pontiff received 42% favorable ratings versus just 8% unfavorable, making him the only figure with broad bipartisan support.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So Stephen Colbert ranks second with a plus 10 ranking. But Pope Leo is the most popular person in the United States right now. So
Okay.
I want to ask you about the more popular West Virginian.
More
Popular West Virginian, Steve Harvey or Jennifer Garner? More popular West Virginian, Steve Harvey or Jennifer Garner? Please pick one.
I think that Jennifer Gardner, because she's still in a lot of relevant projects that, like, every once in a while she'll pop up and she'll be in a TV show or a movie, or you know, she's doing something here and is getting a lot of coverage. I know Steve Harvey is very famous and from here, but frankly, at least in the news that I consume, I don't see him in the headlines a lot as of late. And Jennifer Gardner still seems to get up there quite a bit.
Yeah, and I know people are driving and they're yelling at their radios right now. Hey, Dave, Jennifer Garner's not from West Virginia. She grew up here.
Yeah, man.
So we claim her.
And she played band and was watching me sit the bench down at Capitol.
Yeah.
We were exact contemporaries,
Yeah.
graduated at the same time. Yeah, she's from here.
Yeah, so when GW was playing at Laidley Field and I was working at Channel 8, I shot a band cutaway every single game, and I'm sure Jennifer Garner was in there multiple times.
Look, if we can claim like George Brett, we can claim Jennifer Gardner.
or Lou Holtz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, moving on. You know, I was reading a little bit about Texas Roadhouse today. I think that says a little bit more about me. So I was reading about
the restaurant, not the movie.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I was reading about the steakhouse, and I didn't realize this. When you go to Texas Roadhouse, you can get mushroom sauce if you ask for it. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. But you know, normally they'll ask if you want steak sauce, but if you request the mushroom sauce, no matter what size steak you're getting at the Texas Roadhouse, they'll provide that. I didn't know that. I think that's a good tip from me to you. So, better steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn? Please pick one.
Man, I gotta tell you, they're both pretty good.
Yeah, they are both.
They really are. I mean, you can say whatever you want about your high dollar steakhouses or whatever else, but I've been to both of them frequently recently, and they're both very good. I have no issue with either one of them. So whoever's the loser here is not a real loser. Here's the only problem that I have with the Texas Steakhouse. It's really loud. The music is really loud. When they're doing their birthday celebrations, it's really loud. It's hard to have a conversation. When I go there and my wife and daughter go, I can't even have a conversation with either of them because I can't really hear what's going on. Longhorn's a little bit more laid back. There's a little bit more traditional restaurant atmosphere. That's really the only criticism I have, and I'll go with Longhorn because of that.
All right, pick one. Topic number 3. Oh, guess who's getting a biopic? Bon Jovi.
I knew you were going there.
Yeah, Bon Jovi.
Really? We'll make a biopic of anyone.
Bon Jovi. And, of course, he's involved. He's involved.
Of course he is.
So the catalog is going to be available. Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, You Give Love a Bad Name, Bad Medicine, on and on and on. So the outfit that did the 4-part Bon Jovi documentary on Hulu is behind the movie. So, better music biopic, the one that they did about Bob Dylan or the one about Queen? Better music biopic.
I didn't see the Queen one. I saw the Dylan one.
Yeah.
So, by default, I have to go with that, I think. And it will probably be my answer anyway, I think. But I don't know for sure.
You know what? I really enjoyed the Dylan one.
I liked it. Yeah, I saw it.
I was really kind of worried about it as a fan, but I really kind of enjoyed it. All right, here we go. Maybe this is a sign of the times or where we are or for whatever reason, but man, are we talking about this? We're not talking about this Bam Adebayo thing enough.
I agree, yeah.
All right. So he scored 83 points in an NBA game. Coop, how many shows ago was it where we were talking about would we ever see a guy score 100 points in a game?
Yeah, right. He was 17 off.
Yeah,
right.
He only missed it by 17, and we were talking about Wilt's anniversary just a few days ago. So he scored 83 points last night, second highest total ever. He attempted 43 free throws. By the way, he broke the record for that, too. He got 83 points. That's the second highest ever. He broke the record for the most free throws in a game last night. 43. He made 36 of them. Both are NBA records. All right. Coop, what record would you rather have? And these are NBA. What record would you rather have? Would you rather have what Bam did last night and own the second highest scoring game of all time, or would you rather have the record for the most rebounds collected in a game?
Oh, you got to give me number one no matter what it is. I know that scoring is more sexy and people remember that, but frankly, the second most, the person who scored the second most would have never been a story necessarily if it wasn't Kobe Bryant, the one that did it last.
True.
If it wasn't for Kobe Bryant, and for whatever reason, all of his records are apparently hallowed. I can't believe the reaction I've seen with people mad that he gets his record's broken. Really strange, the cult around that cat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that for me anyway, it's still got to be, if it's the best ever in that category, it's got to be that. And rebounds it may not be sexy, but it's important. And if you're the top ever, hey, that's where I want to be.
Wilt's got that record too. 55 rebounds in a game in November of 1960 against Bill Russell.
Give me those 55.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So Netflix, I saw this in my queue. I haven't watched it yet, but I guess I'm the only one. The movie War Machine on Netflix this weekend has already had over 39 million views on its opening weekend. It's claimed the top spot on Netflix English movies list for the week of March the 2nd. It's a sci-fi military film from Lionsgate. It debuted last Friday. So, better sci-fi war movie. Tom Cruise War of the Worlds or Starship Troopers? Please pick one.
By definition, I think it has to be Starship Troopers. War of the Worlds is sort of a war movie, but it's really just humanity getting its butt kicked until the end. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of warring going on. It's more like panicking and then figuring things out. Whereas War of the Worlds is about whereas Starship Troopers is about active military deployment in a military environment in a sci-fi setting. Regardless of what level of parody that you're on the Starship Troopers spectrum, I think that it's probably a little better movie.
I agree, and don't at me. Cruise's War of the Worlds is boring.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to talk around that a little bit, but the original was actually much better.
Much better. It's boring. Okay, finally. Oh, Dr. Dre's officially a billionaire. Now, he's been claiming to be a billionaire for like 12 years, but Forbes finally noted that he is a billionaire. So he ranks 3,332nd. He's the 3,332nd most richest man on the planet.
Oh, man.
All right? 2-hour car ride. Jay-Z or Beyonce? 2-hour car ride. Jay-Z or Beyonce? Please pick one.
Man, I have a feeling I couldn't talk to either one of them, to be completely honest. Yeah, I mean, just universe is completely different on stuff. Geez, man. Man, I have nothing in common with Jay-Z, man. I can't imagine having a conversation. Maybe about sports. Maybe about sports. And, I mean, frankly, I don't have much to talk about Beyonce with either, you know. You're an attractive lady.
It could be a quiet ride.
Yeah, it would be a very quiet ride. You know, barbershop default, you talk sports to Jay-Z, I suppose.
All right. What do you got for me?
Oh, my turn already. All right. Starting with question number one. With the sudden controversy regarding TV broadcaster and former career utility infielder without managerial experience managing the U.S. World Championship team for baseball, new spotlight has been put on managers and coaches. So you have one season to put it all on the line for a sports franchise. For one season for his respective sport, which of these coaches are you more likely to hire to deliver merely a winning season? That's all you have to do is deliver merely a winning season. For your basketball team, Randy Whitman, the old NBA coach, he had a career record of 178 and 288, which was a 38% winning percentage in the association. Or in Major League Baseball, manager Ray Knight, who had a 156 and 251 record as a manager, which is a 38% also winning percentage.
I'm going to go with Ray Knight.
Yeah, why not?
I like Ray Knight.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I like Ray Knight. I was at Plant City one time in spring training when I saw Nancy Lopez drop him off at work.
Nancy Lopez's husband, Ray
Yes,
White.
that's
Ray
exactly
Knight.
right.
Yeah, good
So
stuff.
give me Ray Knight.
Ray Knight, okay. So Linda is making a late batch of treats, and she has granted you leave to eat your fill. What are you requesting between oatmeal raisin cookies or brownies?
Oh. Well, I can't eat too many brownies, but I can eat my body weight in oatmeal raisin cookies.
There we go.
So and it's fruit, right? So
yeah, it's raisins.
I'm just eating fruit.
You're going to be regular if nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to oatmeal raisin cookies.
Okay, there's that question number two. Question number three. These are pulled out of my real life experience. So which of these is a more impressive achievement? Both of these are things that I've witnessed and seen myself. When I lived in New Mexico, I had a neighbor whose Ford Escort was covered with thousands of vintage bottle caps from all across the space and time of America. It was like a yearbook of America, things from like the 50s and the 60s, regional brands from different parts of the country and everything else, covered every inch of this Ford Escort to the point where it was just all bottle caps. The collar was bottle cap. That's what it looked like. The other thing that I saw when I had my bookstore and I was going for a book appraisal in an estate, one of the books or set of books I came across were 8 books, 6 inches thick a piece, scrapbooks. Inside of all of them were categorized menus from restaurants and diners from the Midwest and the Northeast of the United States, ranging back to the 40s to probably the 2000s. So which of those is a more impressive collection, the bottle caps on the car or the menus and the books?
That's a really good one. I think I'm going to go with the menus.
It was really cool to look at.
Yeah, Now, the bottle cap thing is pretty cool,
That was more attractive. The bottle caps was actually very pretty, but as far as interest to look at, those menus were really
I think I'd be more interested in reading the menus.
Yeah, they were very cool. Okay, going on to question number 4 now. You're casting an 80s female-led dance musical. Your choices are Olivia Newton-John from Grease and Xanadu, or Irene Cara, star of Fame, and she won an Oscar for singing Flashdance.
I got to go for Olivia Newton-John.
Okay.
Got to do that. I played her as a country music DJ. So
there you go.
So I'm there for that.
I had a huge crush on Irene Cara, strangely enough.
Who didn't?
From Fame when I was a kid. She's always lived rent-free in my head. Okay, question number 5. This is a special threefer. You get to choose from 3 different things. It's a simple premise. You need a getaway driver from a heist, and you get to pick your driver and your car from the movies.
Okay.
Are you going to pick Steve McQueen and his Ford Mustang GT Fastback from Bullitt? Are you going to pick Gene Hackman and his Pontiac Le Mans from The French Connection? Or are you going to pick Barry Newman and his Dodge Challenger from Vanishing Point?
I'm going with Steve McQueen from Bullitt. Okay, Gene Hackman wrecked.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so that's not going to help me at all. No, the Bullitt thing's amazing, right?
Yeah, so is Vanishing Point.
It is. But, sometimes you get into traffic, and that's what happened with Steve McQueen.
Very true.
He had to navigate those cities and go through those crazy roads in San Francisco.
Agreed.
All right, that's it.
That's
it. All right, buy or sell, another one in the books. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and open up the On the State file in a moment.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
In classrooms across the country.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia.
The High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is time to crack open the On This Date file. We'll start with the birthdays. We'll start with the sports birthdays. Coop, here you go. We were talking about the Reds earlier today. Cesar Geronimo, 78 years old today. On 2 World Series teams, won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves as a center fielder. 78 years old today. John Thompson III, former coach at Georgetown, 60 years old today. Bobby Abreu, man, what a good hitter. 2-time All-Star, Phillies, Angels, 4 other teams, 52 years old today. Elton Brand, 47. Rupert Murdoch, head of the Fox Empire, is 95 years old today. Johnny Knoxville is 55 years old today. Terrence Howard, the actor, 57. Pretty good list of celebrities today. Doc Ellis, birth anniversaries, born in the state, 1945. The Pirate pitcher died in 2008. On this date, Jim Morrison left for Paris. I'll tell you what, Coop, let's jump down to the clip of Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was knighted on this day by Queen Elizabeth II in 1997.
You know what it's like? It's an honor. And you think of things like what your mother and father, my mom and midwife, and my dad, just a cotton salesman, how proud they would have been, you know.
Even prouder to know the Queen would make their son a companion of honor.
So I was feeling pretty cheeky by now. I'm thinking, you know, I'm getting quite at home here. So I said to her, as she shook her hand, I said, we've got to stop meeting like this. And she went, what?
What?
Paul McCartney, knighted by Queen Elizabeth on this date in 1997. In 1986, on this date, the NFL adopted the instant replay rule, and it didn't take long to have an impact. On the third play of the opener between the Browns and the Bears at Soldier Field, we had a reversal.
Cleveland through the body. Possessed the football before it went out. It's touchdown.
So the use of the instant replay on the third play from scrimmage in the new year already. The new rule in the National Football League, use of an instant replay official, has given the Browns a touchdown on an otherwise very confusing play.
So Cleveland had recovered a Bears fumble in the end zone. The replay showed that after a bad snap back to Jim McMahon, Brown safety Al Gross did have possession of the football before leaving the end zone for a Cleveland touchdown. The instant replay rule was adopted on this date in 1986. And our musical birthday to the break, Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge is 79 today. The 5 things to know at 5 o'clock in sports are coming up next.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Hardwood Heat meets the Mountain State in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Girls High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 14th. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Sports headlines at 5 o'clock. Winners at the girls' tournament today. Nitro, Wheeling Central, and East Fairmont. Big 12 tournament. WVU and BYU tonight. In action now. Cincinnati leads UCF 46-37. 10 minutes to go second half. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this. I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school. You did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Sonia, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. I want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
– 10 seconds remaining.
There'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up. And Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour, navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's 5:06 in West Virginia, ready to start the third and final hour of our program today. Metro News Hotline, thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, man, we got a lot of stuff to get into. We got stuff happening weather-wise. We got basketball to talk about. The girls' state tournament is going on in Charleston. They'll be tipping off another game in less than a half an hour. We'll give you a little bit of information about that. West Virginia's got a big basketball game tonight at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City against BYU. It's a rematch of a game that West Virginia won just 11 days ago at the Hope Coliseum. At the bottom of the hour, Tony Caridi is going to join us. Now, because it's game day for Tony, he was with us in the 3 o'clock hour, and if you missed that, we'll replay that at 5:33 and to give you a little bit of an indication of Tony's take on the game tonight. It was a good one. You're going to want to hear that. Also, a little bit later on in this half hour, we will get into In or Out. 5:40-ish or so this afternoon, we will also have the Capitol Report. Last week of the legislative session for West Virginia here in Charleston, so Jeff Jenkins will drop by with the Capitol Report. Coop, you know what we didn't do yesterday? We didn't do a live drop-in on the girls' tournament. We'll probably have to try to do that before we get out of here today. What do you think?
I hear that we have access to the network. So
yes,
I think
we can access the network. By the way, before we go any farther, let me just tell you what's happened at the girls' tournament so far today. It's been another busy day of basketball. I mean, the tournament starts on Tuesday, it starts on Tuesday and runs throughout the week. So you had 6 games yesterday. You have 6 games today. Let me find the results of today's games. We've had some pretty good games. The morning game this morning, Nitro beat Princeton 48-40. Wheeling Central was a winner over Wayne 71-35. East Fairmont, in a bit of an upset, a winner over the second seed Spring Valley 54-52. The nighttime session begins this way at the bottom of the hour. Greenbrier East and Hampshire will tip at 5:30. Williamstown and Philip Barber at 7:15. John Marshall and Kaiser will get it going at approximately 9 o'clock. So we'll try to maybe drop in and give you a couple of seconds of what's going on with that Greenbrier East and Hampshire game. And, you know, if you go to the website, WVMetroNews.com, right to the homepage, you'll see a banner at the top, and that is Tournament Central. Click on that. You'll get into the brackets. And one of the things I like to do is get into the live stats, and you can find those there at the website. That is very, very effective. So that's going on with the girls' tournament. I'm going to run down some of the other things that are going on in college basketball conference tournament action today, because you got some of the big boys rolling out there today. The Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, the Big 10. We got some local teams involved, so we'll get into that in just a moment. Tell you what, though, let's do a quick reset on our question of the day before we go any farther. And the question of the day is sponsored, as always, by Salango Law. New survey found that 30% of us fear driving alone. 31% avoid solo concerts. 26% won't travel by themselves. So here's the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. Do you like to travel alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Do you like traveling alone? And what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Text line 304-TALK-304, 304-825-5304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. And man, we have a lot of responses to this question alone. Here's some of the text messages, and we've got a bunch. By the way, if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I don't want to send anything in on this question of the day because you already have so many responses, you may not read it. Trust me, I look at all that stuff, and the best stuff that doesn't make the air, we recycle that on Friday in the follow-up file at 3:50. So if you send it in, trust me, I'm going to see it. 304-282. Dave, yes, I like traveling alone. Furthest I've ever traveled by myself was to Paris. Well, I tell you what, that's pretty impressive. 681-404. Dave and Coop. I don't mind traveling alone, but I prefer to travel with my wife. The longest trip I ever made was to India, and that's from Will. Hey, Will, that's a pretty long trip, son. Let's see. 304-886, John in Martinsburg. Let's see. He sends me a quote from Kipling. He who travels fastest, who travels alone. Furthest I traveled alone was to Antarctica. John, is that really true? Did you go to Antarctica? Send me a text on that. I'd like to know. 304-546. Dave, right after I retired, I drove myself to Oregon to meet 19 other guys for a golf trip. Of course, they all flew. I left early and made stops to visit friends in Iowa, Colorado, and Vegas. One of the best trips I've ever taken. Love traveling by myself. Let's see. One more, and then I want to get an update on the weather. 304-421. Dave, good afternoon, Hotline crew. This is Jennifer from Tornado. Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer. How you doing? Thankful right now that I'm not actually in a tornado because I'm involved in an animal rescue. I have driven to many places by myself and stayed overnight by myself. I've driven to Toronto, the campus of West Point, Chicago, and many places in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and in New Jersey, as well as multiple trips to Atlanta. Many years ago, I drove to Tallahassee and back by myself. I am not at all afraid, not even of stopping to take a nap in the rest area. P.S. I don't carry a gun either. Jennifer, thank you for the nice note.
Yeah, Jennifer's so nice. She comes to find us whenever we're out and about.
Yeah, she is great. Bryan Hughes is hanging out with us today because weather's happening.
Yes.
Weather actually happens every day.
It does.
So what's going on with the weather today?
Well, the tornado watch has been allowed to expire across most of the state, and it was set to go until 5 o'clock. Does not mean we won't have a severe thunderstorm watch issued for this evening into tonight because there's more weather on the way. For those of you watching on the West Virginia Metro News television app, you can see the radar right now. And we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of south central Kentucky. And the reason, we wouldn't normally talk about that, but that is going to be headed this way as we head into this evening and tonight. So we've had thunderstorms across parts of the state. The tornado watch continues from Wheeling to Morgantown into the eastern panhandle. That goes until 8 o'clock tonight. There's still some storms that can spin up there. But as we go into this evening and tonight, it really transitions into a wind event along the leading edge of those storms, and then rain after that. Flood watch in effect for the northern panhandle. And we go from the 80s, 70s, and 80s today to the 40s tomorrow. We're back to the 50s and 60s on Saturday. And Sunday we're in the 70s. But Monday we go rain and back to cold.
Really?
Yes, rain on Monday to snow Monday night into Tuesday. And then 30s for highs into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
You know, it's funny. Next week is the boys' high school basketball tournament here in Charleston. And I can remember many years where it was like snow all over the place. Could teams get here? Could fans get here?
Yeah.
Then that's not going to be a problem next week, right?
No. Well, as long as you're here before it all starts.
Right.
So if you're here on Monday, you should be fine. But listen, this is what we call the month of March.
Yeah, that's right.
It's nice and wild.
Hey, I was running down this stuff about traveling alone. Have you ever been to a concert alone?
Yes, I have. It's kind of weird because you're looking for somebody that might be kind of jamming with you a little bit. But I had a friend of mine. She saw the Rolling Stones by herself front row.
I was trying to think about when was the last time I went to a concert alone.
Reba McEntire, saw her alone, and Steve Wariner.
I saw Willie Nelson right downtown here in Charleston, not associated with a regatta.
Right.
Alone. I've been to a couple of concerts alone. I'm trying to remember which rock concert I went to alone. Was it Def Leppard? That was weird. Yeah. You don't even think about being alone until you're actually there, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like there's nobody that you don't really talk to anybody. You don't really want to sing,
Yeah, but could you imagine going to a Flog and Molly concert all by yourself? At that point, you're not all by yourself. You're all one and the same.
All right. So let me. Anyway, we have a lot of response to our question of the day. It's getting a lot of run on social media today. So, hotline question of the day. It is sponsored by Salango Law. Do you like traveling alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Do you like traveling alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? All right. Let me run down some of this stuff that's going on as far as college basketball is concerned. So, Tony Caridi's coming on in about 20 minutes. We'll hear another. We'll go around of his visit with us live at 3:33 this afternoon, talking about games tonight. So BYU plays WVU, and the line is shifting a little bit. BYU was favored by 4.5 points earlier today. Now that line's moved by a whole point. So the Cougs are now favored by 3.5, and the total on the game hasn't changed. It's still 140.5. Games in the Big 12. So Cincinnati leads UCF. We're closing in on the under 4 media timeout, and the Bearcats have the lead 53-46. Critical game for Cincinnati because they're on the bubble as well. Well, actually, they're trying to get on the bubble to get into the conversation for the NCAA tournament. If this doesn't work out for UC, could this be the last game for Wes Miller as the coach of the Bearcats? It's a very good possibility. Now, right now, UCF has kind of gone south here at the end of the regular season, and they're losing in this game, their first tournament game in the Big 12. It's believed that UCF is in pretty good shape to go to the tournament. We'll see. Iowa State was a winner over Arizona State earlier today, 91-42. That was a record point differential for a Big 12 tournament game. Arizona State gets walloped in this game, and most likely Bobby Hurley is finished as the coach at Arizona State. In the ACC, Pitt, who won last night, they were losers today to NC State. The Pack beat the Panthers 98-88, and Jeff Capel was asked after the game about his future at Pitt, and he says he has been given no indication that he would not be back, but he has been not given any guarantee that he would be back. Louisville had a battle on their hands with SMU. This was a game that was tied at halftime, and the U of L comes through and they beat SMU 62-58. So the Cards are moving on, 22-9 on the season. That's a good win for Louisville. They're nationally ranked number 24 in the country, so they are moving on. Also, in the SEC, when was the last time Kentucky went into the SEC tournament in Nashville as just one of the other teams in the tournament? People really are not expecting UK to win this game, but they got through their first game, and that's how you got to get started. Cats were a winner today. They beat LSU 87-82. Also at the SEC tournament, Auburn. You talk about a team that's on the NCAA tournament bubble. They had to win today against Mississippi State, and they did so, 77-61. And in the Big Ten, Maryland is done for the year. The Big Ten tournament in Chicago at the United Center, Maryland had a 1-point lead at the half against Iowa, but the Hawkeyes get it done, so the Terps season is over. Iowa wins over Maryland 75-64. The final, Terps end the season at 12-21. The Pirates were losers today in Sarasota to the O's, 7-2. The final, also in spring training action this afternoon, the Reds and the Brewers are playing in Goodyear, and the Reds lead that game 5-2. They're in the top of the fourth inning. We'll give you an update on Marshall baseball. They're playing at Louisville this afternoon. We'll do that. But we need a break here, and when we come back, it'll be time to play in or out. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Zach Hupp, project manager with CEC. After graduating from Glenville State College, I took over my dad's surveying business. It was fulfilling, but when CEC came calling, I knew it was an opportunity I couldn't refuse. With CEC, I'm reaching clients I never dreamed of and seeing projects through to completion. It's more than a job, it's a new chapter. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Hotline with Dave Weekly will return on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
on the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra. Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
All right, welcome back to the show. We were looking for a final score on that Marshall baseball game in Louisville this afternoon. Cards beat the Herd final 18-8. That game is a final. Oh, look who's here. Hey, Ryan. What's happening, buddy?
Nothing much.
All right, time to play in or out. Every day at the Sun, we focus on the stuff you talk about at the office. We call it in or out. The setup is simple. 3 categories: food or beverage, gut reaction. Finally, this one's about a celebrity. The topics of which change daily. Let's get started with food or beverage. Coop, are you ready to go?
I literally can't wait.
Okay. Checkers and Rallies serving up a new flatbread combo spicy chicken for $5. You get the spicy chicken, seasoned fries, and a drink for $5. Flatbread sandwiches at Rallies and Checkers, in or out.
I have no other opinion on this except that I don't like stuff on flatbread. I don't like that kind of bread on sandwiches, like the fluffy, rolly bread. I'm not a big fan of it. I got to be out.
Brian Hughes, what are your thoughts here? Checkers and Rallies flatbread spicy chicken sandwich, in or out?
I'm absolutely in. Anything spicy, and even if it's a flatbread, just add some extra cheese and make it stick a little. It's fun.
All right, Ryan, where are you falling on this? Checkers and Rallies flatbread spicy chicken sandwich combo, $5, in or out?
I have a very medieval peasant perspective on bread. It has to be tall and it has to be thick. I don't like flat bread. It just feels like a tastier piece of paper, I'll be out.
Gonna be out. I kind of like Checkers and Rallies. It's very difficult to get there correctly in the Patrick Street Plaza, but I've managed it, so I'll be in on that. It was a little victory for me. Let's see, gut reaction is next. Here's a woman, Brito Rodriguez. She was arrested in the Dominican Republic for singing the national anthem too quickly. That is against the law there. She's 64 years old, and she was arrested and thrown in jail. And when asked for an apology, she smiled and said, "Forgive me, my country." while raising her shackled hands. Being arrested for singing the national anthem too quickly, in or out?
Now, I want to tread carefully because I don't know if there's some, rhythmic reason for it or something.
The law prohibits changing the anthem's lyrics, tempo, or making it danceable.
I mean, I got to be out on this. I'm not saying that as a country you got to protect your, I don't want to say brand, but you're going to protect it. But at the same time, that seems a little, but it's their country, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they can do whatever they want, but I'm out personally.
Brian, being arrested for singing the national anthem too quickly during karaoke, in or out?
You can do the national anthem, the United States national anthem, in 60 seconds. And it's actually quite appropriate to knock it out that fast. But I'm out. I mean, what country says stupid stuff like that?
Wait, did you say karaoke? This
Yes.
was during. It wasn't even during her. It was just their karaoke.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
Oh, then they're really out.
Really, man, you should do whatever you want.
Ryan, your thoughts?
That's the fact that it's karaoke makes it even worse.
Wait a minute. I just have one quick question. Did she go along with the rhythm of the karaoke? Because it should be the karaoke provider,
the
right?
machine.
Yeah. She says this is a version she's been doing for 22 years.
Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot complicated about this situation. Maybe there should be some revised legislation over there. I'll be out.
Yeah, I am also out on this. Finally, this one's about a celebrity. Oh, Coop, Liam Gallagher.
Oh.
Got a Liam Gallagher
What did he
story. Well, he sarcastically responded to Oasis trailing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame vote. So they're behind artists like Pink, Sade, and Luther Vandross with just over 100,000 votes. Phil Collins has 3 times that. So he wrote on X on Monday, quote, "I'd like to thank all the people who haven't, in all caps, voted for us from the bottom of my heart. This is for you. Thanks." And then he followed it with another message to a supporter saying, "And all those of you who voted for us, please sit down." Liam Gallagher of Oasis, in or out?
I still think they interviewed him last year when they were nominated. I thought it was hilarious because he said something similar. It's like, I have no interest in this. This is a bunch of baloney, yada, yada, yada. And then the follow-up question was, well, if you got in, would you go? And he's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's famous for, they asked him, he stated that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was for wankers.
Yeah, I love it. That's on brand. That's about as on brand as you can get for Oasis.
Brian, what are your thoughts here? Liam Gallagher of Oasis, in or out?
I'm sort of in because it's the old crotchety mentality, and Oasis has always been just interesting anyways.
Ryan, Liam Gallagher of Oasis, in or out?
I like his gumption. I'll be in.
Gonna be in. Liam Gallagher, frontman of a rock band who does not dance. Absolutely in. Absolutely in on Liam
Doesn't
Gallagher.
even move, man. It's like the hoodie energy.
Let's take a break for local news. Thanks, guys. And we'll come back and hear from Tony Caridi about West Virginia's ball game tonight against BYU. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In West Virginia Metro News, I'm Morgan Pemberton. A Kanawha County man is heading to prison after receiving the maximum sentence for beating a woman to death and pushing his grandmother down a flight of stairs. Isaac Surface was sentenced today to 40 years in prison for second-degree murder in the death of Laura Farley and was sentenced to 3 to 15 years for attempted murder of his grandmother, Betty Surface. Surface pleaded guilty to those charges in December. Prior to sentencing, Kanawha County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Jordan Gano said the maximum sentence was deserved.
There are 2 violent acts in this case, with 2 different victims on 2 different days. The only appropriate sentence for each is the maximum of 40 years for the murder of Laura Farley and 3 to 15 for the attack on Betty, running consecutive.
And in the House today, they passed a bill that authorizes the state to begin spending the $199 million from the Federal Rural Health Transformation Fund. The House Finance Committee advanced the bill earlier today. Morrissey Administration Director of Policy Curtis Capehart says the state needs to begin spending this money.
If we don't have all of those dollars that are obligated from the current fiscal year 26
funding actually expended by, I think it's the end of September 2027, then any unexpended dollars are going to be pulled back.
You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Directors Association.
West Virginia University announcing today that they have selected Mark Paris as their next Dean of Libraries and Press. Paris will begin working on April 27th, taking over for Dean Karen Diaz, who is retiring. He's coming to WVU from Brandeis University, where he was the librarian for scholarly resources and discovery. And the State Board of Education received reports on their ongoing interventions into the Hancock and Upshur County school districts during their meeting earlier today. They also swore in new board member James Paul from the Metro News Anchor Desk. I'm Morgan Pemberton.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
All right, welcome back. 26 till the hour. Man, with Cincinnati, no lead. No lead is safe. They've got the backup lights on for the Bearcats and UCF in this game at the Big 12 tournament. Less than a second to go. Bearcats inbounding the ball, shot at the horn, no good, we're going OT. It was a game that Cincinnati had a 6-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Obviously, it's a huge game for Cincinnati, more so for Cincinnati than UCF, but they're heading to overtime at 58. Ryan, what are you doing? Did you take over for Coop?
Yeah, you just talked to him during the break.
Well, I know. Let's go with a bid. I mean,
you don't want me to break kayfabe here? You don't want me to expose the behind-the-scenes action that happens between breaks?
So you'll be handling the rest of the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to continue to do what we had already planned to do?
Maybe.
Let me do a quick reset on our question of the day.
No, we can't do that.
Question of the day. A new survey found 30% fear driving alone. 31% avoid solo concerts. 21% won't travel by themselves. Here's the hotline question of the day. Do you like traveling alone? What's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? Do you like traveling alone? And what's the farthest trip you've ever made by yourself? So you can text those in, 304-TALK 304, 304-8255 304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY. We have got a ton of response to this. We're going to talk to Tony Caridi here in just a minute. But these text messages are backing up. Let's see. Oh, 304-634. Hey, Dave, this is Randy Yowie. How you doing, Randy? Loved your work on Channel 3. Love to travel alone. Those people in those stats are weenies. Where's your sense of adventure? Flown to L.A. and to New York City, driven to New Orleans and Detroit, concerts alone, a blast. Sneak backstage. P.S. Please don't let my wife hear this. Oh, I probably should have. It's too late now, but it's just between friends. A couple more here regarding our question of the day. 304-216. Dave, I love to travel alone. For my high school senior trip, I went solo on motorcycle from Morgantown to Virginia Beach. 400 Kawasaki motorcycle, train driven, no windshield. Problem was I ignored the weather forecast for a hurricane hitting there. It hit. Thought I'd drive out of it and head home. Big mistake. I was young and dumb. Let's see, 304-218. Hey, Dave, older woman here. Flew from Pittsburgh to Memphis, took the riverboat on the Mississippi down to New Orleans, flew back to Pittsburgh, 9-night trip. That sounds really nice. All right, big basketball game for WVU tonight. They're hosting, or they're not hosting, they're meeting BYU. BYU is favored by 3.5 points. Mountaineers are the 7th seed in this tournament. BYU played K-State last night. A.J. DeBanza scored 40 points as the Cougars won the game and will meet West Virginia tonight at 7 o'clock. Now, Tony Caridi normally joins us live in the bottom of the hour segment every Wednesday at 5. But because today was a game day for him, we taped early. He was live with us in the 3 o'clock hour. So, Ryan, when we make reference to the beginning of this Cincinnati game with UCF, just disregard that. All right, here's Tony Caridi. Let's go to Kansas City, where Tony Caridi is standing by, getting ready for the game tonight against BYU. Tony, you really didn't have to do too much pregame prep for this game, right? I mean, you just saw the Cougars a little over a week ago.
Yeah, it was 11 days ago. Just had to update a few numbers here and there. And other than that, they will be very recognizable. West Virginia, of course, got them in Morgantown 79-71, Dave. And we'll try to get them twice here before this season comes to an end. You would eliminate them, and you would advance on to the quarterfinals tomorrow.
So Iowa State made short work of Arizona State, and that's an understatement earlier today, 91-42 in a game where the Cyclones led the Sun Devils 45-16 at the half. Is it safe to assume that was Bobby Hurley's last game at Arizona State?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's done. That was it, and they played like it. You're able to kind of get in here, I think, and fake it for one game like they did yesterday. But when you take on a team that's really, really good, as Iowa State is, and they're rested and they're ready, they just absolutely boat raced them. That was the worst beatdown margin of victory, Dave, in the tournament's history.
Wow.
So he went out in record-setting style.
There you go. Cincinnati and UCF are playing now, and the Bearcats lead that game 11-7. About 12 minutes to go until halftime. Is it considered that this would be Wes Miller's last game if the Bearcats do not win?
That is a really good question, one that was discussed by our group while we were watching games here yesterday. I don't know, Dave. Did he do enough? Do they have a surefire guy that could replace him and immediately do better? I don't know, Dave. I truly don't know. I'm interested to see what UCF does. They were in their locker room inside Hope Coliseum for not 1, but 2 hours after last Friday's game. And those normally go one way or the other. Yeah. So are they going to implode here? That's what I want to see. Or will that serve as a catalyst to get them going, because they've lost 3 in a row?
All right, let's talk a little bit about West Virginia and BYU tonight. DeBansa obviously is a horse. He was named as a first-team All-American today by the Sporting News. He scored 40 points last night in his first appearance in the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. West Virginia did a pretty good job against him the last time he played against the old Gold and Blue. WVU held him to 20 points. What is the defensive scout on DeBansa? What does West Virginia try to do to limit his effectiveness?
Well, you try to run people at him, and you try to force him to pass the ball. And they did a really good job with that, Dave, in the first game. The other thing they did a really good job of was they didn't foul. Brennan Lorient did a superb job guarding him, and Brennan only had 2 fouls the entire game. Their whole goal, and DeBansa's whole goal when he plays, and we watched him last night, is he will try to initiate contact. He will try to draw fouls. He uses that offhand masterfully to initiate the contact and oftentimes gets the calls. And so while this game starts here tonight, if Lorient or whomever is guarding him on a switch gets themselves into foul trouble, it could be a long day. However, if West Virginia plays with its hands up, doesn't reach, uses its chest and body for the contact, and they can just stay in front of them, then you take your swing. When he got the 20 in Morgantown, that was a season low, believe it or not. Since that game, he's averaged 27 points. He's leading the nation in scoring on the season at 25 points per game. So he's absolutely magic. But another big key, Dave, is when they do miss, you got to get rebounds. West Virginia crunched those guys on the glass. They had 39 rebounds in Morgantown, and 18 of those were on the offensive glass. And so when West Virginia, if they do, in fact, miss shots, which they've been prone to do, they've got to get second chances and sometimes even third chances. Those were key in the first game.
So DeBansa is not a one-man team. Rob Wright had 23 when they played against West Virginia recently. Kostick had a dozen. And BYU, I mean, obviously after what we saw in the game last night, they can score points in bunches. And, they made a 14-point lead, a 14-point WVU lead go away pretty quickly and made a run at West Virginia at the end of that game recently.
Well, they've done it all season, Dave. You go back to their Clemson game at Clemson, they're down 22, and they come right back, and they're right in games. That is their MO as well. You know, we kind of look at West Virginia and say West Virginia goes into droughts. You know, a lot of teams go into droughts. It's more noticeable because West Virginia is the one that people follow, but they do as well. And you mentioned Rob Wright. So he had another good game against West Virginia. He's played them twice now, and he averages 20 points per game. Baylor a year ago as a freshman, and now he plays, obviously, for BYU. You try to slow him down. He's a defensive liability. West Virginia absolutely attacked him in Morgantown. So I don't know what his plus-minus was in that game, but while you listen to or watch the game tonight, West Virginia will isolate him. They'll try to switch onto him, and you'll see that dribble-down play that West Virginia uses with Jasper Floyd, and they will try to isolate him, take him inside. He doesn't want to guard.
All right, so BYU's favored in the game by 4.5 points. Tony, let me ask you, inside the WVU program, let's look at this scenario. If West Virginia beats BYU and then would go on and beat Houston in the next game, is there a thought that would be enough to earn an at-large berth?
You're probably starting the conversation again, Dave, but at this point, you know, I think you're just trying to get by today, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, the scenario on this team is going to be this, Dave. They didn't beat Clemson. They didn't beat Ohio State. They didn't beat Utah. They didn't beat Kansas State, right? They didn't beat TCU. They didn't get Baylor at home. Those are the ones that are going to be like scars that will never leave them, and they would have to do something extraordinary here over the next several days in order to get back onto the other side of the conversation.
Well, Tony, I appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully you'll have a long stay there in Kansas City that goes beyond today's game with BYU.
I would enjoy it, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, Tony Caridi joining us from Kansas City, where West Virginia is in the Big 12 tournament. The Mountaineers are the 7th seed. They're a slight underdog tonight to BYU. That game will tip at 7 o'clock Eastern. There you go. Tony Caridi joining us earlier today. We're back live now. The first of the 3 games at the West Virginia girls tournament here in Charleston has tipped off. It was a 5:30 start, and Greenbrier East has a 6-3 lead on Hampshire with about 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. You can find coverage at the website, WVMetroNews.com. This is the final week of the legislative session here in Charleston, and to that end, here's Jeff Jenkins with today's edition of the Capitol Report.
This is the Metro News Capitol Report, brought to you by AARP West Virginia. AARP is your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia and learn more at aarp.org/WV. Today's report in 60 seconds.
AARP is your wise friend and fierce defender as you age. Life changes fast, and so do the challenges. Scams are getting more sophisticated, and caring for loved ones can feel overwhelming. That's why AARP is here. We're working to help you protect your hard-earned money, sharing tips and tools to help you spot frauds and scams. Every day we're supporting family caregivers and fighting for things like expanded affordable high-speed internet service and ensuring access to home and community-based services that are so critical to family caregivers. With 250,000 members in communities throughout the Mountain State, AARP is your trusted advocate at the state capitol and beyond, fighting for policies that make life better for older adults and their families. Everyone in the Mountain State needs someone in their corner. That someone is AARP. For more information, connect with us on social media at AARP West Virginia or find us online at aarp.org/WV.
A 5% cut in the income tax is on track for passage before the 60-day regular session ends Saturday night following the passage of the bill today by the House Finance Committee. You may remember during his State of the State address, Governor Patrick Morrisey called for a 10% cut. The next day, his budget included a 5% cut by reducing revenue estimates by that much. Well, the Senate passed a 10% cut supported by the governor, but in the budget bill compromise, the Senate dropped that position. The House would still need to pass a 5% cut and the Senate to agree to it. If not, Morrisey's shortened revenue estimate would become just surplus revenue. House Finance Committee Chairman Vernon Criss still smarting from what the governor said during the State of the State.
He had no reason to give us ask for a 10% cut without providing the legislation or the vessel to be able to do that. So the 5% is what he's going to get.
State Deputy Revenue Secretary Dr. Peter Shirley was asked by the committee today, what happens if revenues come in short because of a tax cut?
He would essentially have 2 options. One is to issue mid-year spending reductions to balance the budget, or he could utilize the PIT reserve fund.
The bill now goes to the House floor for consideration. I'm Jeff Jenkins on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
Hotline with Dave Weekly will return on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra. Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
All right, welcome back. Well, at the Big 12 tournament, West Virginia plays tonight against BYU. The Mountaineers are 3.5-point underdogs to the Cougars in the game. The total is 140.5. And it looked like we were ready to pencil Cincinnati through to the next round. They had an 8-point lead with 2 minutes to go against UCF, but the Knights come storming back. They force overtime, and they win in OT 66-65. So If there was any question about whether or not UCF was going to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, I think those are gone now. So UCF will be in the NCAA tournament. They'll have their hands full, obviously, in the next game because they have to play Arizona. What's going on with Cincinnati next? Who knows? They end the season at 18-14. Wes Miller, 5 years at Cincinnati, no trips to the NCAA tournament. He is definitely hanging in the balance after that performance. A game they should have won, but they did not. They did not. UCF wins 66-65 in overtime. You know, we've got the girls' high school basketball tournament going on here in Charleston. The 5:30 game is in progress. 6 minutes to go until halftime. Greenbrier East leads Hampshire 16-8. This is also going to be a very big night for high school boys basketball. In Quad A, the biggest West Virginia classification, you've got regional finals tonight, and the winners of those 8 games will advance to the state tournament here in Charleston next week. Now, locally, here on our flagship, 580 WCHS, we got a good one tonight up on the hill. George Washington is going to host Parkersburg. The winner of that game is going to the state tournament here in Charleston next week. In Quad A North, here are the 4 games with the victors advancing into the state tournament field next week. 8 teams in each of the 4 West Virginia classifications will qualify for the state tournament. Morgantown will host Jefferson tonight. All these games will tip at 7 o'clock. Wheeling Park will be at Washington over in the Eastern Panhandle. Musselman from the Eastern Panhandle will be in Morgantown to take on the University High Hawks. And Martinsburg will be at Spring Mills. Those are the 4 matchups in Quad A in the north. In the south, I mentioned the Big Reds of Parkersburg will be in town tonight to take on the Patriots at George Washington. You'll hear that game on our flagship, 580 WCHS tonight. Cabell Midland at number 4 Huntington. That's a 5-4 matchup tonight. Beckley Woodrow Wilson trying to get back to Charleston for another appearance in the state tournament. They'll be at Parkersburg South tonight. And the Hurricane Redskins will take on Riverside. So that should be a good game as well. Once again, the matchups tonight in Quad A, Jefferson at Morgantown. Washington will host Wheeling Park. Musselman at University. Spring Mills will host Martinsburg. And then in the Quad A South, Parkersburg at GW on 580 WCHS tonight. Cabell Midland at Huntington. Beckley Woodrow Wilson at Parkersburg South. And Riverside will host Hurricane. Once again, the winners at the girls' tournament earlier today. And you can hear all of those games on the Metro News Radio Network. And as we get a little closer to the finals on Saturday, all 4 of those games are going to be televised on Metro News Television. Earlier today, the 9:30 game, Nitro was a winner over Princeton, 48-40. Wheeling Central defeated Wayne. That was a AA game, 71-35. Back to AAA. East Fairmont with the upset of the tournament so far, defeating Spring Valley 54-52. And as I mentioned, the game in progress. Greenbrier East leads Hampshire 21-9, 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap it up for the day in just a moment.
Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health, resulting in high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain social connections. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. Visit connecttoeffect.org to find resources and ways to stay connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers, we need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us.
These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Every day, we fight to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, to keep our water and air safe, and to advance clean energy and combat climate change. We are Earth Justice, a national legal nonprofit fighting for your right to a healthy environment. We are Earth Justice, and we're here because the Earth needs a good lawyer. No one fights and wins more cases on the environment than we do. Want to join us in this fight? The time is now. Go to earthjustice.org today. That's earthjustice.org.
Need a break from the headlines and mindless drivel? Metro News Hotline brings you that much-needed afternoon distraction, but with substance. My decades in journalism, plus a passion for everything from baseball nostalgia to the latest tech trends, mean insights you won't get anywhere else. Coop brings the pop culture know-how and good-natured ribbing, while your calls take things in surprising directions. Tune in for the lively chats that are refreshingly different. Find us from 3 to 6 weekdays on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. All right, folks, we're late. We got to get on out of here. Stay tuned for the news at the top of the hour. Sports lines on the other side. And don't forget about coverage of the Girls State Tournament on Metro News as well. My name's Dave Weekley. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 3:06 right here on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hotline on the Metro News Network is presented by Salango Law, salangolaw.com. Hear Hotline weekdays from 3 until 6 on this Metro News station or wvmetronews.com. Visit the site or your favorite podcast service for past shows and features. This has been Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.